Welcome back to channel. I'm doing absolutely fine. So this episode is not that much emotional as compared to last one, because last one had talked everything about Jack and his mom and her funeral. But in this episode, definitely we don't get to see that much sadness. But there definitely are a lot of emotional things. And before I start with the breakdown, I'll just give you a quick spoiler-free, like a spoiler-free review. As in this episode, entire episode is going to be about mostly about Rebecca and Kate and the journey that they have been through, as well as what Kevin is also going through. So this ये episode उतना ज़्यादा emotional भी नहीं है, but at the same time it kind of gives you a lot of insight about how the show is kind of approaching and कैसे आगे की story हमें अभी शायद से देखने मिलेगी, because Rebecca ऐसे situation में है कि she is having her Alzheimer's and she is not ready to get with it. At the same time, we are in lots of other things as well कि केविन के साथ आगे क्या होगा, because प्रोमो में तो हमने देखा था, and even the last kind of post credit scene which we saw in the last episode, like he's looking for someone. So is that someone going to be Sophie, or is it going to be anybody else? That is kind of given a hint in the episode. So I was really praying that he should not kind of end up with that like girl which he just gave a call. But इस episode में finally हमें वो देखने मिलेगा. So let's start with the actual breakdown of episode number 5 of season 6 of This Is Us. Alright, so the episode starts in such a way that previously we know that Randall and she had visited Malik, and Randall was kind of mad about it. We get to see they kind of having a thing together, and Kevin is clearly not clear about that. She just calls this girl which he had met before, and in the old clips we get to see cute little Kate trying to play piano along with Rebecca, and Jack was shooting how they were kind of playing. And now we further move ahead, and I was so happy to see her, because this middle aged version of all of them was not that great, I could say. I really loved the Kevin and the Kate's actors, but she is back again. I really loved her, and the way that she had acted trying to portray the transition from Jack, kind of, because we can relate to these three actors more because they were at that specific time when Jack had kind of died. So I really love her, and she's kind of back. And I thought would others be back too, but no, others don't. Others won't come in the episode. It's just her, and we get to see she is kind of having a thing, and at the same time, before she kind of goes, we get to see that Rebecca and Miguel are just kind of trying to have a conversation, and she just kind of tells her that your life should not be that much boring. You should try to do something different. And then we set up with the new episode, wherein we just again get to see Kate and Rebecca, and this transition that Rebecca does from being that young, just recently widowed woman to getting so much matured grandmother and trying to be with her kids. And we get to see a conversation between her and between Toby and Kate, that they had to tell her finally, and I was under the impression that they would be telling her about, are they kind of going to separate, or are they going to move or something, but it is something different which we'll get to see as we go in the episode. Then we just finally get to see Kate and both of their kids kind of are having this moment which Kevin got to see, and then we get to see that he is already living with Madison, and that was kind of jealousy for Kevin for obvious reasons. And then he just goes ahead and gives a call to her, which we saw in the promo, that he just asks her that whether they could be together at the cabin with his uncle Nicky, and just kind of says yes. And this is super funny because Rebecca and like Beth and Randall are literally the characters which are meant to be together. They just kind of contemplate of everything which could happen, because Malik is going to be there and he's going to prepare a dinner for them. So they just kind of think every possible outcome of what it could be, and out of everything that they predict, which we also kind of thought that could Deja be pregnant, or whether he would be moving, or what exactly would happen. but at the end we just get to know it is altogether a different thing. And then we just get to see both of them having a kind of conversation that they just could go on speed dating. And while they go on speed dating, she kind of just meets these random guys. And at the same time, Kate asks her to go and just come with her to the school and try to teach these blind guys. And finally we see both of them together because they've been missing forever, right? And they just try to have a kind of a sister bonding thing where Deja kind of tells them before she could tell like her parents, and she just tells her, and if anything goes wrong, she'll just scratch her ear, and it would be kind of a distraction signal. But they are very much clever than that. And then we finally get to see a very funny thing between them as well. Like before actually going towards the cabin, he just kind of gives a call to randomly. He just kind of tells that whether this could be it, she could be the one. And he just tells that don't propose her or do something random. And then we just get to see the point where they're actually having lunch, and like even the space, like the air hostess from the Uncle Nicky episode, we get to see that they are kind of together. They have not done it yet, but they are still together and kind of dating. And then we get to a part where she's just pathetic about it. She just doesn't want to do that speed dating. And at the end, he just asks, well, they're kind of having they're kind of having dinner. He just tells them like the truth that actually Deja was going to tell them was she wants to move with Malik, and which kind of is a big step because she's just she has some enough credits because of which she could take a break and directly apply for college, which obviously they are not going to approve. And then we get to see she just had this last date with a guy which she had met at the PTA meeting very back in the past. And she just comes home and she's kind of happy. And even Kate is kind of happy that finally her mom is happy before, because there are very less days available with them until she kind of forgets everything. And that would be the probably the saddest day of their entire life. And then she just tells that they have to tell her about what they want to do. And when they kind of talk about it, obviously Randall goes furious, and he just leaves it there. And when she comes back home, Kate kind of directly tells her that by meaning that get a life for yourself doesn't mean that directly start dating guys, because she's really more at this specific phase. She's very much like having his urn and preserving it for a longest time. That was one of the hardest and the saddest episode, if you remember, like the urn in which she kind of had kept Jack's ashes, and she was kind of just furious with Rebecca starting to date again. And at that spawn of the moment, she just tells a lot of things to her, because of which Rebecca literally slaps her. And that was super super surprising, because Rebecca is not that kind of person. She is not that kind of mother, and she just feels pathetic about it. And later in the episode, we at that similar time, and what another thing which I love about the entire show is how amazingly they blend these similar scenarios apart from these similar timelines. That at the same time, Kate, like the older version of Kate, kind of tells tells Rebecca that she doesn't want her to be around the kids when she's just alone because of the obvious reasons. And that kind of makes her feel even more sad. And then we get to see a mature conversation between Malik and Randall, and he just tells her that that Teja is just that this is not the thing which she would want, like anybody would want for Teja. And he just kind of tells him to tell her that, which he's obviously not going to do. And then we find a conversation between them where they were kind of trying to think about getting together just for, even if it is like for just one night, but he kind of thinks that it could be for a longer time. And at this specific moment, we kind of see that she literally tells him that he should go and give a call to the blonde. So I'm not sure who he would be actually going for. Would he go for Madison, or would he finally go for Sophie? Because we are really, I personally want Kevin to end up with Sophie, because they had this fairy tale romance where starting, like, they were married in the very young age, and then they kind of got separated. And what we've already seen all the 5 seasons. And if they turn out to be Sophie, it would really be amazing, because they are kind of meant for each other, right? And then we just get to see she kind of gives a call to Miguel and just literally cries her eyes out. And finally we get to see Randall talking to Beth about what he did tell to Malik. And obviously she is not against that. She just gives an example of Romeo and Juliet. If they are trying to keep them separate, they are going to end up killing themselves. So Beth is super awesome. And then as we go further with these episodes, she is back with her mom, and she just kind of tries to say sorry in a way that she just asks her to she just asked whether if she could teach Jack piano. She has even had a new book which kind of tells all the tunes and tones in Braille. And then she just agrees to it, and we just get to see all versions of Kate and Rebecca together, right from where she was just a little kid to when she had just slapped her, and at the same time in the future where she is kind of going to end up teaching Jack piano. That is the kind of the end of the episode. Alright, so that is it for episode number 5 of season 6, and it was really emotional because I am very much in love with Jack, but at the same time, I do also love Rebecca, and I'm really not ready for her dying as well, because this show, the way that it has got, I really thought that it should not end. It should just keep on going. It should just give us more options of crying our eyes out, because I can literally say that this show is meant for people to get emotional. It is meant for people to react to what they are kind of feeling, and just to kind of melt down, or just express what actually things are happening with respect to what we are currently dealing with. And all in all, this entire show, I think, is all about that. It is about family. It is about relationships. It is all about trying to accept things throughout all these seasons. This episode was not that much awesome, but it was kind of very emotional too. So do let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. I'll be meeting you in the next video.